Hi guys, it's Cindy the Scrapologist. Thanks for coming back to my channel. I lost my mojo. I'm tired, I'm not feeling well, and I'm just that always affects my creativity. So what I like to do when I'm sort of getting into this little bit of a health rut that I get into every once in a while, I have some health issues. I like to just drive around, go to some of my favorite spots and like antique stores and thrift stores and even just art shops and things like that, and just be around all of the pretty things and see if there's something that inspires me. So this latest trip that I did a couple of days ago, I found some really fun things and I wanted to just show it to you because maybe you're feeling in a little bit of a mental rut too, maybe a little tired, not up to creating right now, but you want to just think about some pretty things that you could make or some cool things that you could make down the road when you're feeling a little better. And I also did make a new digital kit that I'm going to show you towards the end. Gathered together a whole bunch of my vintage advertising that I have that's it's dated around 1912 or so, and I made a huge kit out of it. So I'm going to show you that towards the end. But the first thing that I think I might have hooted in the middle of the antique store when I saw it. $4. Are you ready? Dun da da da! I found an Edith Holden book for $4. You know, these are priceless to us. We love Edith Holden, so that's always super fun when you can come across one of these. I think the whole junk journal world is grabbing them all up. They're getting harder to find. This other thing is really cool. I paid up for this $15, and I normally do not spend more than $5 on something because I need to keep the cost down of my supplies so that I don't have to pass on expensive things to you. I want to keep my costs down for you. So normally $5 is it, unless there's something that is just one of a kind that I have to have, and that was this. So what this is it's a salesman's book for office supplies, and this is the little book in the whole kit that he would have taken and gone door to door to try to sell you some advertising. And so it came with all kinds of goodies. Here are whoever had these are their business cards. These are the little envelopes that you would have mailed in your orders with if you got any orders. This is the little book on how to sell the Lucky Seven Brothers line. And here are the some receipts and more receipts. So, oh, and also a little welcome letter to the salesperson. And you can see it's in a pretty vintage font, like Courier or something like that. Couldn't find a date anywhere in here. It says that the company was established in 1897. They're no longer in business. I couldn't find any info on them, but I don't think this is old enough to be in the public domain. So this is mostly just an idea book of things that I could create and put into my shop as digitals or photocopy these and put them in my journals. So it's just a bunch of advertising, and it gives you some really cool ideas. So these are advertising and price stickers, insurance labels. There's going to be a little bit of a glare, I apologize. Drug and chemical labels that they would put your company name on anything. And really cool vintage images. I nearly dropped when I saw this. I've never seen one before. These are the different envelopes that they could put your company name on, different sizes, window and windowless, and those were originally glued on. They're still this one's still glued on, but those are all in there. And here's a bunch of different little specialty envelopes and nice crinkly ones. We love that crinkle. But I could totally make these. This just gives an idea of shape and size, and just I never really thought of putting a grommet in an envelope or a cellophane. So that would be kind of fun. That's how you get little ideas. I also like the way they bound this book. It's stapled together, and then they have book cloth that is glued on here, and maybe I'll do a tutorial about how to do a book like this. I did one. I'm starting to kind of like, I'm digressing a little bit, but I'm starting to kind of like this style. I'm getting a little bored with regular portrait books. I'm kind of liking this landscape style just a little bit. It's just I go through phases. So I did this and showed you how to do this Japanese binding using one of my kits. I did this in a tutorial a couple of weeks ago, but this would be another way of doing a landscape orientation book. So that's how you can get a number of different ideas just from one thing that you purchase. I'm looking at the binding, I'm looking at all of the different elements, I'm looking at the typeset, even how they've laid things out on the page. These are all kinds of different business cards. Some of them are really fun. Look, patronizing us is like making love to a widow. You can't overdo it. Sing while you drive. Some of these are really funny. And then we've got motel cards and motel key tags. Now, this is an idea too. I want to do some of these. This would be super fun to put in a journal. And then you kind of get into the business forms and all the different business forms and sales books. They even would um, put print whatever you wanted on gummed tape. This is a piece of gummed tape, and so this gave me an idea. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to do this. This is the kind that you have to wet on the, and then you can stick it onto your project. And I'm going to see, you see how many ideas I'm getting just from this one thing that I found that I really love. You never know where you're going to get your ideas. Sales books, of course, we love those. And order books. There's some nice aging on that paper. The old carbons, repair forms. And this is kind of fun. At the back, it's internationally known trademarks. This is really kind of a cool page that I could use for some collage. And that's it. So I thought that this was really neat, and we really love vintage office supplies, and it has a whole bunch of ideas in here of things that I could use. Oh, that's bright. Plastic coated pennants. Wow, that's really kind of fun, but it's not my style. I don't know that I'd ever use that, but anyway, so that's that, and then the Edith Holden book, and then I also found for $3 I got some. I don't know if these are vintage. They kind of look like they are, but they're linen napkins. I love the little flowers that are embroidered on there, but my favorite part was on each one of these, there's an adorable pocket with the flowers on it. So I have 3 of these, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to cut this up, but this would look so pretty on the cover of a journal or inside a journal as a tuck spot, and just put a little something fun in there. Um, but again, I sew a little bit, and maybe I'll make something like this if I don't want to cut these up. Again, inspiration. It just really inspired me, and my creative juices started flowing again, and I started thinking about some things that I want to create. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of just taking a little break. and going somewhere that inspires you. The other thing that I got was Katie Greenway's Family Treasury. I have a kit in my shop, The Language of Flowers, that I digitized and made it journal size for you all because I love her little children in all of her in all of her illustrations, all of her books. I didn't even know that she had this many books that she'd written, and this is just a compilation that somebody did of a number of her different books. But I have the entire Language of Flowers. I have the whole book. This is just a compilation, and I just paid $4 for it, 4.25. It was 50% off, and so this is just something I will probably cut apart and maybe use some elements in here for collage. These are she is in the public domain, so I don't know, you might be able to find her images um, online, but my favorite is The Language of Flowers and all of the little children and their little faces. She's just known for the sweet little faces in the children that she painted. So this was just an inspiration piece for me and something that I'm totally okay with cutting apart and using. So that was my trip. Now, I wanted to show you the new kit that I have in my shop. There is over 85 pieces of advertising that I put into a kit for you, and all of the ads are 1912 or older, so they're true vintage. A lot of them are in my collection like this. So if they were already together, laid out on a page for you, I just scanned this in, and I always manipulate it just a little bit because you can't just scan something in and sell it. It's, no scanner ever really gets the true saturation and the right size and things like that. But if it was already laid out on a page like this, then I just left it that way, so it will print out kind of like this. And what I really like too is that it has the old, I had to unstaple this book, and so it's got the old rust marks where the staples were and everything. So when you start cutting these apart, you've got these fun things that can be used as collage scraps, or put them on the edge of your pages with some Tim Holtz ink or something like that. I always like these old staple marks or old areas where the a paper clip may have rusted on the paper or something like that. So some of the um, ads are large, like this, full size. And when I say full size, these pages from this magazine are 6 3/4 by 9 1/2. So that's the size of this. But how fun. I was thinking something I'm going to do today is I think I'm going to um, take some colorful scrapbook paper that I like, and maybe cover this and put a little dress here or something and start just messing around with collaging her. So I didn't cut her out, but I cut out all of the other ads, and there's a variety of sizes. Most of them are this shade. I'm not sure how well it's going to come across on the camera, but there's a little bit of a patina to them. They're almost ivory, but you can see some staining from when they were in the book, that you can tell that they're aged. Some of them are actual from newspapers that I cut out, so they're going to be more of a brown tone. So there's a combination of age in here. Some things look a little more aged than others. I like ones that have pretty borders, because you just use the border and collage over the inside of that, and cut this out and just keep the border. I chose ones that had really beautiful images. That's the thing about this vintage advertising, is it was artwork. It's just not like advertising today where it's all sex, It's just you put a gorgeous lady on a car. They just really thought about creating beautiful art. I mean, this one for this music box is beautiful. The images in it. So there's over 85 pieces in here once you cut them apart, and they're so easy to cut apart too. I just used my paper trimmer and just put them through. Some of them I'm gonna go through and round the edges because they're sort of rounded here. And this I thought would make a really nice bookmark, just a placeholder in my journal. Um, yeah, they're just really, really, really interesting and fun and pretty. Look at that one. I printed these out on a cardstock. Not a real thick cardstock. I think this was maybe 80 pound, because I want the option to be able to create a pocket with them, so I wanted something a little thicker. But old cameras, uh, enamelware, just all kinds of really fun, really fun images. Odie quinine. Use quinine on your scalp. Uncle Sam. See, these are just, I just really love all these. They're just going to be a lot of fun to work with and put in my journals. He was one of my favorites. Gold seal champagne, and there's a little gnome on there with a lantern and some grapes over here. This is probably my favorite one. But you know what? Because it's a printable, I can use this over and over and over again until I get sick of it. And there's one that's a little bit bigger, so this would make a fun page, just an entire page, and do something on the back of it. And then one with it. This was for a shoe company with a little song on the front. Here we go. A year's supply of toilet paper, $1 delivered. If they only knew what would be happening in the future with toilet paper. Oh, so it's a huge kit, fun kit. I can't wait to start working with these. I think I got my Mojo back, so I'll put the link below for the kit. If you want me to print the kit for you on this thickness of chipboard, just let me know. Ask for a custom order, and we'll put together. I'll find out how much it's going to cost to ship it to you, and I'll print it for you. So that's about it. Okay. Well, I hope that if you've lost your mojo, you don't stay there for too long, that you force yourself to go out and do something that's going to get your creative juices stirring, and maybe this helped to inspire you and encourage you just a little bit. Get back in your craft room, enjoy yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.